I'm Elizabeth Perry, and I'm 36 years old, and I'm a yoga therapist, and I'm currently living in Los Angeles. And I'm a single mom to my sweet angel baby love child, Max Perry, and he's almost 4 years old. Anyway, I'm a single mom, so that's been probably the biggest challenge of motherhood for me. I moved out of my son's father's house because he was a bully towards me, and I wanted to set a really positive example for my son, that I didn't want him to grow up to be a bully, and I also want him to see me as an example of a strong and independent woman. I have attended a lot of parenting classes because my son's father was so disconnected, so detached, and also emotionally abusive. I really wanted to educate myself in a way that I could teach my son's father just how to be a dad. So I'm kind of armed with information, which feels good, and that's what I kind of have had to do. I breastfed my son for 2.5 years. Some people might think that sounds a little weird, but actually the world average is around 5 years, and studies show it's the best thing for our babies, emotionally and physically. So I'm really proud of myself that I did that for my son. One of the other major things I did for Max is I changed my entire career for him. So I used to work in entertainment where days could be upwards of 13, 14, or even 15 hours. So I got into my yoga career so that I can not only be there to drop my son off at school, but I can also be there to pick him up from school. So right now he's only in preschool for a few hours a day. But as a yoga therapist, I can go see clients during that short window of time and be back for him. So to me, that's kind of amazing that I was even able to figure out a career that allows me to be a mom first. So I think that's pretty awesome. A typical day for us. So, and this kind of also encompasses one of the things that I pride myself in as a mom, but I always cook breakfast. As a matter of fact, when my son was a baby, I never once fed him baby food out of a jar. I always made him all of his home-cooked, home-steamed vegetables, pureed, organic. So I've always made nutrition and anything I can do to give my son the healthiest start. I always have. So I drop my son off at school for a few hours. I go to work. I actually have to commute to work. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to get there. And the reason I'm willing to do that is I'm living in the same neighborhood as my son's father, and I do want him to have a really, really close and amazing relationship with his dad. So I'm definitely sacrificing the time in the car commuting when God knows I would love a nap, but not happening. And then I'm there to pick my little boy up from school, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, and then we'll do an activity. So after I pick my son up from school, that's the time of day when we'll either paint a canvas or have a little art project, a play date with a friend, and my paintings, because I was going to mention that. So I have art all over my walls in my home, and because I make my son a part of all of my activities, he has his own canvases just like this. He even has some just as big as this. So I've turned my balcony into an art studio for my son, and he has as much art or more than I do. When he has show and tell at school, he actually takes his little canvases to show his friends. He even painted a canvas this big. He painted it yellow for his 3rd birthday. He wanted yellow to be the theme of his birthday party. And I spray painted on the canvas. Max is 3. And we have a park a few blocks down the street where we had his party, and it was a really windy day. I carried that canvas all the way to the party. It almost blew me over because it was so big, and with the wind blowing, it was like being trapped in a wind tunnel. But I got my son's canvas there, and he was able to show all of his friends his canvas that he painted. And it's really cool because these are all things that he has created. So I get excited about that. At night, if my son is spending the night at my house, we just read a bunch of books. That's the best thing you can do for a child in terms of educating them. And then if my son spends the night with his father, which he does 2 or 3 days out of the week, then I go teach a night yoga class on those nights. So it's really not much of a break for the single mom, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. My child is the heartbeat of my family, and becoming a mom has truly changed my life. I've really and truly altered everything in life to make him the priority. And that's my story. I'm Elizabeth, and I think I covered everything. Take care.